Okay, Zatima fans. Whew. Let me put it this way. Episode 3 was slightly better than episode 4. I know when I do my episode 4 review, let me put it this way. Don't expect either of these reviews to be 43 minutes long like the episode 1 review was, because to be completely blunt, I did not enjoy these episodes. Quote unquote spoiler alert, Preston, just thank God for him, because his scenes were the saving grace of both episodes. But of course, in this particular video, we're talking about episode 3, decisions, and my oh my, it was a tough call trying to figure out what to give this episode. And I think this is possibly the lowest score I've given a Zatima episode yet. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. The first half kind of killed me. I don't even know who these characters are. Specifically Zach and Fatima, which is sad because I just posted a video last night / this morning about how, yeah, season 3 is off to a slow start, but I understand it's the setup. But here we are in episode 3, and I'm like, oh, we're really going to stretch this out, huh? And granted, yes, I know that things can turn around. This is a 20 episode season, but this has me worried, because based on the way things are playing out with we can't tell Zach about the Jeremiah attack, I feel like this is, and look, this isn't a new revelation, because a lot of fans have called this from the jump about Sistas season 8. This story layout is probably going to be the same formula that the writers are going to use in Sistas starting next Wednesday, about the who tried to kill Gary thing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's several episodes before the characters find out that Gary's still alive. But this was interesting kind of episode here. But before moving forward, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video, even if you didn't like the episode. Hit subscribe, because we are getting closer to 300,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you are up to date whenever I make these posts, because trust and believe, there are some more coming. And finally, make sure to check out my Spotify, Our Kind of Entertainment. Like I said, I just launched it last week. At the moment, the only two things are the episode 1 and 2 reviews. I will upload the episode 3 and 4 reviews as well. Also, in the comments, let me know what other kind of content you want me to put on the Spotify. Some people said Apple Music as well. Working on that. Don't worry, it's going to happen. But let's jump into this review. So the episode picks up where the lackluster cliffhanger left off. In episode 1, the episode 1 cliffhanger just set the bar too high with the Jeremiah, attacking Fatima, and then she went flying into the car. But I told you last week, like, man, that cliffhanger was kind of weak. It's like the last 4 minutes of the episode dragged on with Angela saying, girl, all these people are coming over to the house and I'm on the way too. And then she ends the episode by opening the door and Zach is smiling. And somebody was giving me crap. It's like, why would he be staring and smiling at Deja's house? And I'm like, you could clearly see Zach was looking in that direction. That doesn't necessarily mean he's talking with Deja. It just means that he's looking in that general direction. So phooey on the person who tried to say I was wrong, because I was right. You had Connie, Tony, and Nathan right outside, and they were standing in a position where Zach would be looking directly over at Deja's house. And essentially they're, trying to make, chit chat about why they're there. And Nate, I can't believe it, but I gotta side with Nate on this one. He was trying to tell Zach what was going down, but Connie and Tony and Fatima ran outside to try to stop him. This scene was the equivalent of the season 6 scene outside of the salon, when all the characters showed up for seemingly no reason. The only saving grace is the fact that this scene did not drag out as long as the sister scene did. And we didn't have Andy's fake crying. No, if I wasn't lazy, I would edit that clip in there, but I don't feel like it. It's early. But what made me mad about this scene was the fact that Zach at first is like, okay, what's going on? Y'all came over here. You said you had to tell me something. Nate said, Jeremiah, oh, what this Negro do now? It's like, I don't know, what's going on? And every time he tries to say something, they end up cutting him off. And Fatima somehow convinces Zach to go back inside. And then as soon as he goes back inside, you got Belinda and Angela pulling up. Fatima's like, what are you doing here, girl? And then Nate's like, look, that's our best friend. We're going to tell him. You think you know him better than we do? Are you effing him? And then Tony's like, yeah, that's a good point. And Nate's like, well, we known this since we were kids. Like, look, I'm telling you now, he's going to find out. How's he going to find out? How's he going to find out, Nate? We're not going to tell him. Look, I know Zach. Somehow, some way, he's going to find out the truth. And look, y'all, when he does find out the truth, he's going to blow up. And I'm just going to say, you know what, Zach? Hey, I tried to tell you, but everybody else, including your girls, said not to tell you. So I got to agree. I'm with Nate on this one. Because I understand Fatima's stance on this. I do. But at the same time, it is only going to be made worse if Zach finds out somewhere down the line, and on top of that, finds out that everyone around him have been covering it up. So that's why in the trailer, he's going to go off on everybody. It's a shame, though, because I know he, like, Zach shoves Nate up against the wall, which I do believe is in the next episode. Not episode 4, but, like, next week's episode. But, hey, Tony getting flipped around and everything. Yeah, bro, you had it coming. I'm sorry. You had it coming. So, essentially, everybody gets sent back home. And, Fatima goes upstairs. Zach's in the bathroom. He doesn't want to, hop in the bath that, she made for him, Epsom salt. I ain't going to lie. Last week, I took me an Epsom salt soak for the first time in a while. When I tell you, I probably put too much damn salt in that bath. I was, like, in a relaxed, drowsy state for 3 days. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, it's been that long since I took one of them soaks, and it is very relaxing. It was that lavender Epsom salt that helps with sleep, and I think I put a whole bag in there, which I should not have done. That explains the drowsiness. But he's drinking, and Fatima's like, look, this is going to be a problem, right? Because I understand, like, you're going through a lot of stress with your mom dying and the money situation, but we got a baby on the way. This was a decent scene. Like, on the one hand, it was really sweet, but Fatima wasn't. I guess because Zach is dealing with so much right now. I'm sorry, but it wasn't a convincing performance in terms of Fatima trying to act like. Look, I don't know why. Oh man, all them people are so messy coming over here trying to start some stuff or tell you something. No, Zach, don't worry about it. I just sent them home. This is not the same. Okay, I know he's been to therapy, but at the same time, look at season 2. This man willingly stayed locked in a broken elevator until he got to the bottom of the Paul and Fatima, I caught you in a compromising position. A coinky dinky doo. I remember that episode. I remember, like, the first time I watched it and I did my review, I said, okay, I think the scene played out a bit too long. It was like 7 minutes long as Zach is going off. Like, Bob the effing Builder? You're telling me that Zach would just casually stroll back into his house despite all of his friends being in the front yard saying that they need to tell him something. I don't buy it. I just don't. But, Fatima tries to distract him by saying, like, look, I'll help with the funeral plans. Like, I'll pick out your mom's dress. Like, do you know what color her favorite color was? And Zach didn't know. And that was a pretty telling scene, in terms of Fatima's understanding of, oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. It's like, I understand you and your mom didn't have that kind of relationship, but don't worry, I'll figure it out. So Zach agrees to hop in the bath so long as Fatima comes to join him later on. So from there, Connie and Fatima gets on the phone real quick, and Connie, I think, no. Fatima calls Connie, and then I think it's like from Zach's number or something, or Zach's phone, and she's like, hey, Zach, look, don't worry. I don't want to start no trouble. You know, I know you're a girl, Fatima, and everything, and I don't want to do anything. And Fatima's like, no, it's me. Ah, okay. Well, basically, you're going to thank me, right? For what? For being a cool chick. Because, you know, I could have told Zach, but I agreed not to. So it's all good. And she does reveal that Gladys's color was like, what, purple? Because she liked these purple flowers that grew out in the yard of the apartment complex or whatever. And, you know, Connie offers her help with the funeral planning and whatnot. And essentially, she's pulling a Steve Urkel saying, oh, we're going to be good friends because, you know, I'm wearing you down. And some people on Twitter is like, you know what? Connie's right. She's wearing me down because I'm starting to like her. As I said last week, I do not, no shade to the actress, I'm talking about the character. But no, I do not like Connie. I still blame her for being the catalyst for Jeremiah attacking Fatima. And like I said last week, it does not matter what she does to kind of quote unquote redeem herself. This is all her fault. She was looking out for herself. Understandably, her kids, kind of in the same way that Fatima's trying to look out for her man, Zach, by not telling him about the Jeremiah attack, and at the same time looking out for their child because, hey, she doesn't want to be a single mom raising her baby alone if Zach gets sent to prison for doing something stupid by attacking and possibly killing his own brother. But like I said before, Connie, no, I don't care. No, she can't. I don't care. She can't do anything to make me change the way I feel about her. Now, going over to Nate and Belinda. This scene was rather lengthy. I think it was dragged out. The highlight of the scene is the fact that Belinda, holy crap, props to the actress, because of the fact that she clearly has Karen down to a T. From the manipulation tactics to the mannerisms, this is Karen 2.0. She is the Karen of Zatima. Well, I think we all called that back in season 1, but I mean, I feel like we need a scene of these two together because they just, oh man. Well, then again, I know fans wouldn't want that. It's like, Jeremy, we can barely stand the one Karen and you're telling us you want to see two on the screen at the same time. But hey, dark skinned beauty. That's all I'm saying. But she's basically trying to entice Nate to call Zach because she's just being messy. And I think we can all see that she doesn't really care about Nate. She's using, as someone said on Twitter, she's using Zach's homeless, brainless friend in order to get to him. And it's really crazy to me that, well, then again, with Belinda looking the way she does, I don't know. I probably would have folded my damn self. But, you know, Nate was pretty much like, look, you're not going to, you know, persuade me to do it. And then, you know, it gets to the point where she stops being sweet and like challenges his manhood. And he does call, but gets hit with the voicemail. And then that's that. Like I said, dragged out scene, but the acting is what saved it for me. So I can't really complain. Now, in terms of what actually saved this episode, Preston stops by. And Fatima was actually studying, so I like that little nod to the continuity of her, you know, studying for her law school stuff, which I could not tell you if canonically at this point in Zatima, she's actually in law school like she was in Sistas season 7 after she got accepted. So I am not going to go down that rabbit hole. Even though, given that Preston and Danny aren't a thing, this is post season 6. You could argue this is within the time skip, the 3-month time skip, because of the fact that Fatima studying could be her studying for her entrance exam into law school. But you know what? Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay, so Preston comes by. Fatima says Zach is sleeping. Oh, well, I see you're in the middle of something. I'm going to go. But then Zach comes down the stairs. And he and Preston have some fun banter, and they go outside. And he basically says, look, I did some research, and what is it, like $2.7 million to help your company get out of the red. So what I can do is help you out because Rise Ventures, Bryce was right. I mean, scenic locations, 7 warehouses are being built, and you can like take Rise Ventures and just take the top floor of the building and rent out the rest of it and just probably triple or quadruple your money. And Zach's like, well, that's not the point. I told him no, and he took $1.5 million from me anyway and got us into this mess. Well, hey, I'm here to get you out. What are you talking about? Here's a check, $3 million. What? And I want to own 33% of the building. And once the money comes rolling in, hey, I just want 33%. So Zach is just like I mean, honestly, how would you act if you were Zach? You couldn't say you wouldn't be doing exactly what Zach is doing now. I think my favorite bit is when he runs to hug Preston. It's like, whoa, this ain't one of them cock-a-doodle-doo moments, a reference to episode 1. And this was a great moment. But here's what kills it for me. And this rolls into episode 4 too. Zach understandably does not tell Bryce, because Preston's like, so are you going to call Bryce? Nah, man, I'm going to let him suffer for a bit. It's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to try to tell you what to do, but, I think you should call because that's your business partner. Look, man, no. Okay, well, hey, all I'm saying is you got the check and you work it out the way you want to work it out. So then it's funny because Zach mentions like, whoa, it's like all that. He's like, yeah, all them cows and all you make fun of. Well, I'm doing okay. Hey, does Danny know you had this kind of money? No, nope, she doesn't know, and she's not going to find out. Yeah, I understand. And then Fatima comes out, and then, she sees the check. Whoa! Does Danny know he had this kind of money? No. And I'm just thinking to myself, yep, this is hilarious. You had Danny who unknowingly gave up on a millionaire. But Sabrina looks even dumber because she had a freaking prince and gave him up because I didn't like the way you talked to Maurice. Man, get the heck out of here. So yeah, Danny, you can go on with your VP of the airline that you work at with the bitter baby mama or ex-wife and the 2 badass kids, because Preston, he doing his thing. So Fatima joins in on the, when are you going to tell Bryce? Oh, here you go. I'm not going to tell him right away. Come on, Zach. And I'm just thinking, like, are they not comprehending what Zach is going through? And I'll get into this more in episode 4. But this is the same crap that happened after the kiss thing. No, Zach, come on. Bryce has done a lot of good things for you. Excuse me? Man. All right. So, good Lord. He'll tell him, but not right away. And then the episode ends with Sean and Angela doing the do in the kitchen. And I think, doesn't Sean say Lisa basically calls Angela by the wrong name? And then Angela stops it. And then Sean is like, come on, admit you like me. And then Angela just says, no, it's like, you're just an F-boy. And that's it. So Sean's getting his feelings about it. But then he hears a car horn going off in the, street outside. It turns out to be Bryce. And I'm just thinking at this point, like, yo, this dude, Angela needs to get a restraining order on his ass because he's literally pulling a Karen, just popping up unannounced at her house all the time. And in this case, my dad, I talked to my dad. He says he's disappointed in me. And it's like, I need you to help me. And then Angela was kind of antagonizing him. Like, I got company. It's like, so what? It's like, what's going on? Well, he's handling my kitty cat and whatnot. Like, why are you talking to me like that? It's like, we used to be together. So this was a very short but dramatic scene. And then Bryce, tries to, just walk away. And then Angela's like, no. And then he just yells at her, drives off, after, spinning his wheels, and then crashes into another vehicle. And that's the end of the episode. So, yeah, this episode was kind of mid. I ain't going to hold you. I'm questioning a lot of the character decisions as well as the character depictions because I hate to say it, but Zach and to an extent Fatima, they're coming across as not as inaccurate as they were in Sistas season 7. And that's saying a lot. Like I gave last week grace because I understood. Okay, yeah, I understand. Like Zach is kind of on the back burner now as a character because they're really building up why he's going to explode later in the season. Fatima's rationale, I can understand it, but it's risky. But when I go into this episode and episode 4, I'm just like, there is no way in hell Zach would just go back in the house like that. And then Fatima not putting on a convincing performance to persuade Zach that everything is okay. But yeah, let me know if I was too harsh on the episode. Like I said, it had its moments, but this just wasn't it. But boy, wait until I do episode 4. All right, as I mentioned, please like and subscribe, share this video around, and I'll catch you in the next one.